is about ready to begin. Welcome to the 2015 American League Wild Card game on ESPN. Tonight's telecast is presented by Hankook Tires. Hi, everybody. Welcome to New York. We've got the Yankees and we've got the Astros. A couple of very different teams, very different circumstances, but they meet here tonight, survive in advance, lose, and go home. Welcome to Yankee Stadium. Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, and John Kruk. Let's start with the Yankees. A difficult season at times. They lost 6 of their last 7, yet they still managed not only to get into the playoffs, but to actually host this game. And they've got the guy on the mound with proper rest, actually an extra day's rest, in Masahiro Tanaka. They've got the guy on the mound they want tonight. Dan, this is why the Yankees paid him the $55 million is for this game tonight. This is a guy who his best games that he's pitched has led a team in Japan to championships that has jumped on his shoulders. I think tonight he's got 7 pitches, but it just takes one. That split finger fastball, the one that Houston Astros hitters fear the most right now. He gets that pitch to be effective, and I think he has the strongest outing of the season. Well, I don't know if the Yankees fear Dallas Keuchel, but the numbers say maybe they should. 2 starts, 16 innings, no runs given up by Keuchel against the Yankees. He's on short rest tonight. What are you looking for from Keuchel?
Is he going to command the bottom of the strike zone like he did the first 2 games against the Yankees and elevate when necessary to try to get a swing and miss? Dallas Keuchel has to keep the ball down. 3 days rest, that should help. But playing in the postseason, playing in Yankee Stadium against the Yankees in the postseason is a different animal than what he saw in the regular season. He has to be down and in command if he wants to win this game tonight. All right, let's talk some offense right now, because both of these teams pretty good offensive clubs, although the Yankees have not shown that lately. Let's start with the Astros. They love home runs. They hit 230 home runs this year, second in the majors, only 2 back of the Toronto Blue Jays. Is that something that they're kind of living and dying with heading into this game? They are. It's a team. They hit bombs and they steal bases. And if you look at the 2 guys that exemplify their offense, it's Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa. Both of them steal a lot of bases. They hit a lot of home runs. They're very dependent. And I think they're also the 2 most dynamic players on the field tonight on both teams. Altuve, the second baseman, Correa, the 21-year, just turned 21. The phenom at short already has turned into one of the best shortstops in baseball. For the Yankees, we mentioned, Crucky, they struggled down the stretch. No Jacoby Ellsbury in the lineup tonight. Left-hander Keuchel on the mound. Chris Young gets a start. Brian McCann, Brett Gardner are in there. What do the Yankees need to do offensively? Well, they need to make Dallas Keuchel get the ball up. If he's commanding low in the strike zone, they're going to be in trouble, because if they're not hitting home runs, just like Houston, they don't score a lot of runs. The last month of the season for the Yankees struggled offensively. They have to make Keuchel elevate the ball, and they have to swing early if he does. If you're taking pitches against Dallas Keuchel, letting him get ahead in the count, he's going to bury you like he has the 2 previous starts against the Yankees this year. A team with a lot of experience, a team in the postseason for the first time in a while. Dallas Keuchel definitely one of the stars of the show as he leads a young, confident group of Astros against a veteran-laden team which struggled down the stretch but still believes that the best may be yet to come. It's time for playoff baseball, Act 1 of the unpredictable.
Postseason is here. Yet after a 6-month season and decades of history to look back on, in a sport as well chronicled and number crunched as baseball, all we really know is this: anything can happen.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! The impossible has happened. Countdown down till the over, 'cause no one can hold them. Live for the moment.
It is the one true outcome of October. Pick a year.
Here comes the pitch.
A game. A moment. And you'll find a result no one saw coming. Whether by magical month of momentum,
Look at this scene.
or sudden swing of surprise. Unlikely heroes and unforeseen events fill out the scorecards of our memories. In October, there's no need for projection and prognostication when you have proof that anything can happen.
Countdown down till the over, 'cause no one can hold them.
The 2015 MLB American League Wild Card telecast is presented by Hankook Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. And in part by Residence Inn. It's not a room, it's a residence. They are fired up here in the Bronx right now, moments away from the Yankees taking the field to open up the 2015 Major League Baseball postseason. The Houston Astros are in town. The Astros 86 and 76. The Yankees one game better at 87 and 75. This game easily could have wound up in Houston had the Astros been able to win on the last day of the regular season. Doesn't seem to have bothered the young Astros that they're here. Many say they're a year, maybe two ahead of schedule. They're excited to be in the postseason. They're young and they appear to be very loose and relaxed. The Yankees now take the field. Well, we've talked a lot about the two starting pitchers. We'll talk a lot more about pitching with Tanaka and Keuchel on the mound. We brought in one of the game's very best pitchers, Chris Archer of the Tampa Bay Rays, to lend us his expertise. He's standing by with Buster Olney.
That's right, Chris. 252 strikeouts with the Tampa Bay Rays this year. What's going to be pivotal tonight for these two pitchers? First Tanaka and Dallas Keuchel.
Tanaka's going to have to establish his fastball early in the count, down in the zone, so that his best weapon, his split finger, plays right underneath that. For Keuchel, he's going to have to establish his fastball inside so that his best pitch, his changeup, plays on the outer half of the plate.
Now, this is such an unusual situation, winner-take-all game. As a pitcher, how do these guys handle the emotions?
I think as long as you keep it the same, you keep your routine the same, you eat the same thing, you come to the ballpark with the same mentality and focus on pitch execution, you'll be all right.
Chris, thanks. Dan, back to you.
All right, Buster, more from Chris Archer. He'll join us in the booth a little bit later on tonight. A.J. Hinch in his first year as the manager of the Houston Astros. First time that they have been in the postseason in 10 years. Let's take a look now with the Astros starting lineup brought to you by Expedia. As mentioned, these guys can hit some home runs. They've got 230 on the season, but as just mentioned, not just a home run hitting team. Jose Altuve led the American League in hits, led the American League in steals, and did both of those for the second year in a row. George Springer, about as hot as anybody in the last week of the regular season, missed some time with a fractured wrist. 13 hits in his last 6 games. Those two, and Carlos Correa, the young shortstop, batting in the 3 spot for the Astros, really keying the offense for Houston. Crucky, a lot of talk about the splitter, the best pitch that Masahiro Tanaka has as a hitter. How do you avoid swinging and missing over the top of that splitter?
Well, as someone who couldn't hit a split-fingered fastball, it's going to be difficult. The only thing you can say is like a pitcher with a great curveball or a great slider, you got to hit his fastball if you recognize it. Talk to some of the Houston players. They said if he gets in a situation where he can throw the split, said even if you're looking for it, it's an unhittable pitch if he's commanding it. Get the fastball early. If not, you're done.
Jose Altuve, the leadoff hitter for the Houston Astros. One of the game's great stars. Just 5'6", but one of the game's very best second basemen. Third in the American League in batting this year. Full house here at Yankee Stadium. A good lively crowd as the postseason opens up here in the Bronx. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire. Tanaka waiting on the mound as Altuve settles into the box, and we are ready to get the playoffs underway. Ball 1 to Altuve, 313, 15 homers, 40 doubles, 38 stolen bases. And as we mentioned, led the American League in hits for the second year in a row. The first Astro ever with 2 200-hit seasons. And he got 3 hits on the last day of the regular season to get himself to 200.
And here's where Tanaka has to be careful. Jose Altuve, even though he's small in size, he's got some pop in his bat. You can't just lay one in there, try to get ahead, or try to get back to a 2-1 count.
Pulls it foul, 2-1. There's Correa standing alongside A.J. Hinch. Correa just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago. The youngest position player in the majors is hitting third for a team in the postseason. How about that? And if he's nervous, he sure hides it well. He seems about as relaxed as anybody. Crowd into it early here for the Bronx. 2-1 to Altuve. Chases a pitch up and pops it back foul out of play.
Dan, this whole team does. I mean, you mentioned Correa being young, and they got a lot of young kids on this team. And just watching them at practice yesterday, in the clubhouse today, you kind of expect that tension, and it's not there.
Well, that last pitch right there at Altuve, an elevated pitch by Tanaka, and that's what the Astros are looking for. And you saw it, even though it was out of the zone, Altuve still took a hack at it. You got to make him get it in the zone, but if he throws anything above your belt, you better let it fly.
2-2 upstairs. Well, we've done a lot of games, albeit regular season games, Crucky, in this ballpark. October's a different animal, but this place has become known as a place that is not as lively as the old Yankee Stadium, but they're off to a good start here tonight.
Yeah, living and dying on every pitch. That's what the postseason's all about, Dan.
Tanaka will work at his pace. Keuchel a much quicker worker on the mound.
Never seen Tanaka do that.
And a check swing foul off by Altuve.
And this is tough, as you said, Crucky, because talking to them, the big goal is to see the ball up, and you have to be able to also recognize if that ball up is a strike or not and protect either way.
Yeah, Altuve's giving him two. He took one, but he's fouled two off, and that's maybe a little over anxious on the part of the young Astros.
Got it. Looked like a cutter that ran off the outside corner, and he strikes him out for the first out of the ball game.
Well, he threw three pitches up in the zone that were straight, and then all of a sudden he comes up in the zone again with that cutter that breaks outside the strike zone. And Altuve, looking for the ball up in the zone. He got one up, but it was breaking away from his bat, and a swing through. And so far, a good start for Tanaka.
Here's George Springer. I'll take that breaking ball off the outside corner for ball one. Springer, as we mentioned, missed a couple of months with a fractured wrist. He has really brought back, A.J. Hinch says, intangibles and energy and passion to the Houston lineup since he has come back. He's also brought back 13 hits in his last 6 games.
Tanaka's pitching against the scouting report. We all say down, down, down. He's elevating almost every pitch. He throws a good splitter right here. It's going to look like he buried it in the grass in front of the mound by the height of his pitches so far.
One and two, mixing his pitches out in front here on Springer. And he's got them on their feet again in the Bronx. Down and in. Carlos Correa waiting on deck for the Astros.
Had a really good take right there by George Springer. He recognized that split finger, which you hear Astros players talk about how difficult it is. He recognized it pretty good.
2-2. Got him. 2 down.
This is the benefit of Tanaka having 7 different pitches that he can go to. Very hard to predict, and he comes with a slider, which Springer had not seen yet. So he started him off high in the zone. He comes back with this pitch moving away and down from the swinging bat of Springer.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Tanaka to begin the night. Now Correa. 22 home runs, 68 RBIs. Only got called up on the 8th of June. You project his numbers over a full season, they would have been 36 homers and 111 RBIs. Not bad for a kid who just turned 21. Former first overall pick. The Astros not really bothered by strikeouts. They'll accept the strikeouts in exchange for a couple of home runs. That's their offensive philosophy. In there for a strike 1-1. They struck out more than any team in the American League.
I do think, though, the first inning is huge for them, though. I mean, this is a team that doesn't have experience in the postseason, and if they want to get on Tanaka, it's these 3 that have to get it done.
Chase down and away, 1-2.
Yeah, this is a masterful game plan executed so far to these first three hitters by Tanaka and Brian McCann, and pitching coach Larry Rothschild. He's really not throwing the split. It's more the slider and the fastball elevated. It's what the Astros aren't looking for.
Tanaka missed his location there. McCann wanted the ball inside. Fouled off by Correa to stay alive at 1-2.
But I tell you what, if Masahiro Tanaka can stay at 94 miles an hour with the split and the slider, it's going to be a tough day for Houston.
And a fly ball to center field. Routine for Gardner. The inning is over. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. A very good start for Masahiro Tanaka. Cy Young candidate Dallas Keuchel will head to the mound for the Astros when we come back. Back for the bottom of the first. A very good start for Masahiro Tanaka. 3 up, 3 down go the Astros with a couple of strikeouts. Exactly the kind of start for his starter that Joe Girardi was hoping to see tonight. Wearing the number 28 on his back, hoping the Yankees could win their 28th World Championship. They are in the postseason, something that not a lot of people thought they would do heading into or over the course of the season. Let's check out the lineup now for the Yankees. Brought to you by Expedia. And as we mentioned off the top, no Jacoby Ellsbury. Dallas Keuchel, lefty on the mound. Chris Young hits lefties well. He's in there. Gardner over Ellsbury because he's hit lefties better than Ellsbury this year. Beltran swinging the bat well in the second half of the season, and a great postseason performer. And Alex Rodriguez exceeding all expectations this season with 33 home runs and 86 RBIs. On the mound for the Houston Astros, left-hander Dallas Keuchel, one of the two perhaps co-favorites along with David Price for the American League Cy Young Award. The All-Star Game starter had an outstanding season, 20-8, a 2.48 ERA, led the league in wins, led the league in innings, second in ERA, and 2 terrific starts against the Yankees, one here, one in Houston. Brett Gardner leads it off for the Yankees and takes a strike, 1-1.
He's not going to light up the radar gun, but he's got great command of his fastball, especially his two-seam that you'll see him kind of sink down in the zone very well. Gets a lot of ground balls because of it. The only concern A.J. Hinch told us he had of Keuchel tonight is the fact that he comes out of the bullpen very intense. That first inning, he said, is the only thing I'm worried about. I want to make sure he can settle in. Then I know we'll be good.
Misses outside, 3 balls and a strike.
I think what you're seeing right here, he's yet to throw a ball in the lower half of the strike zone. First pitch up and in, second pitch strike called, but it was up, and then a breaking ball up. You know, right now is the time. If you're the Yankees, you better get him now.
Fouled off, full count. Worth mentioning that Dallas Keuchel, and Houston fans intimately aware with this number, but for those around the country who may not be, he was 15-0 at home with a 1.46 ERA, 5-8, 3.77 on the road, but did have a very good start here against the Yankees and dominated them in his 2 starts this year. As he catches Gardner looking, strikes him out for out number 1. Also worth mentioning, guys, he's on 3 days rest. He has never done that in the major leagues. And the reason he's on 3 days rest is the Astros wanted to line him up for their series against the Rangers and the Angels in September. He made 2 starts against each of those teams in September, and that meant that he was going to start on Friday, and that meant that he is pitching on short rest right now. A.J. Hinch, though, didn't seem very concerned about him having 1 day's less rest.
Not at all. I mean, he seemed to have a ton of confidence in his ace, and like I said, his real concern was this first inning, but he knew that this is a guy who can go deep in a game, and that's what they're going to need from him. A guy who wants the ball, has that intensity.
Chris Young, a Houston native, in the starting lineup for the Yankees tonight. Right-handed bat, hits lefties well, has had some success against Keuchel. And so Jacoby Ellsbury is not in the lineup tonight for the Yankees. Now, he missed a game earlier this week after he ran into the wall, tweaked his back a little bit, but this sounded more like Young had to get in there, and it was either Gardner or Ellsbury who would sit. And as we mentioned, Joe Girardi said that Gardner hit lefties this year better than Ellsbury did. So Ellsbury starts on the bench, but Girardi said, make no mistake, he will play at some point in this game. Like a number of other Yankees, did not finish the season as well as he started it. Gardner's in that boat, A-Rod's in that boat, McCann's in that boat. There's a strike, 3-1.
That's a lesser of two evils. Brett Gardner had the third worst batting average in the second half of the season, and he's playing over Ellsbury. That tells you something about what's going on with those two lefties.
Strike two.
One thing that's a common denominator between the four hitters at the top of the Yankees lineup, guys, they're all patient hitters. They all average about 4 pitches per plate appearance. You've got a starter working on 3 days rest. Maybe that's part of the Yankees' plan.
In on his hands, fouled off by Young. Keuchel threw 99 pitches in his last start on Friday, but pitchers will always tell you it's not just the number of pitches, it's were they stressful pitches. Well, the Astros won that game 21-5, and they were up 6-1, then 10-1 when Keuchel was in the game. So it was not a very stressful evening for him as he went 6 innings through 99 pitches on Friday. 3-2 again.
Dan, you're watching a guy in Dallas Keuchel right now that he is yet to get a ball down in the strike zone, but this is how bad the Yankees offense is. They ain't had a good swing on him yet.
Misses low, and he walks Young.
Now this isn't a normal Dallas Keuchel. 3-2 count on Gardner. He gets a strikeout looking, and then a 3-2 count on Chris Young that he doesn't. It's another changeup that he tries to get down in the strike zone. He did get it down, but Chris Young, no swing, and now you got some action for the Yankees.
Young with decent speed at first, with one out here in the bottom of the first. Scoreless game, and the batter is Carlos Beltran. First pitch swinging, chops one to third. Luis Valbuena in on the grass to throw him out, 2 down as Young takes second. Now Alex Rodriguez. And I think if even you had asked the most optimistic of Yankee fans, they wouldn't have projected numbers like these for A-Rod this year.
Not one bit. I saw him in spring training. I predicted between 15 and 20 homers, 50, 60 RBIs.
Held up well through the season. DH'd almost exclusively. Just appeared in the field a couple of times. Runner at second, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Keuchel facing Rodriguez. Outside, ball 1.
Those are small misses, but this is a pitch. I watched Keuchel's last outing, and that was a pitch that he was nailing consistently. That down and away, that two-seamer that just would catch the corner. Now it's 3 to 4 inches off, and it's a ball.
Right there at the knees for a strike, 1-1.
This is the adjustment. He misses with it. He comes right back. And that's just such a nice location. Look at where it hits the plate. Not only away, but at the bottom of the strike zone against these righties. That's going to be key for him.
Altuve trying to hold Young close out at second. The shift on A-Rod. 3 on the left side. Breaking ball fouled off, and it's 1-2.
If you're Alex Rodriguez, you understand Dallas Keuchel has a whole repertoire of pitches, and with 2 strikes now he can try to tease Alex into swinging at something that he wants until he gets, of course, to count to 3-2. But you know, Alex right here has to be ready for any pitch that's thrown by Dallas Keuchel right now.
Got him up in the zone for strike 3 called. So a 1-out walk, but no damage done, and we are scoreless at the end of 1 here for the wild card game at Yankee Stadium. Welcome back to the Bronx. Stan Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, John Kruk, Tim Kirkchin, Buster Olney, Chris Archer with you here for the American League wild card game. We are scoreless as we go to the top of the second. Masahiro Tanaka, very strong in the first inning. 2 strikeouts and a weak fly ball. Shift is on as Colby Rasmus leads off the second for Houston, and he lifts the high pitch way back in right field and well back into the seats for a home run. Colby Rasmus, the first pitch he sees from Tanaka, gives the Astros a 1-0 lead.
You saw the first 3 hitters for the Astros patiently wait for a pitch they could hit. Rasmus does not wait at all. He gets a pitch that's low and in. And this is a spot that Tanaka likes to hit, but it's a beautiful spot for this lefty hitter who knows as soon as he makes contact, you see the spin, it just stays straight. It doesn't have any of that break that he wants to get late in on the hands of Rasmus.
Now Evan Gattis' first pitch swinging, fly ball to right center. It is carrying, and it is caught by Gardner up against the fence in deep right center to deny Evan Gattis. Man, that's a strong fella, Crockett. That ball didn't look like it was going that far.
No, it did, but you're right. He is a strong guy. But I love what Houston's doing right now. Yeah, we're not going to wait for him to strike us out. We're going to go ahead and be aggressive. 2 swings in this inning. 1 home run and a great play by Brett Gardner getting back to the wall, making his play.
Well, when you see Gardner going back for this, you think it's just a simple pop fly. He's kind of jogging, and then all of a sudden he makes this jump at the end, which tells you the ball just carried that extra foot or 2 because his angle and path to this ball did not tell you that this was going to be something at the wall.
1-0 Houston on the home run by Rasmus, who hit 25 during the regular season. Here's Carlos Gomez swinging at the first pitch. Ground ball to third. Headley makes the play. So 3 pitches into the inning, a run is in and 2 men are out.
Well, watch where Brian McCann's setting up. He wants that 2-seamer down and away, and it runs back over the center of the plate. And, you know, Colby Rasmus, not your prototypical 4th hitter in a lineup, but he's got some pop in that bat. And I mean, this is just, you're asking when you miss that much. I don't care. You know, you hear pitchers talk about, you know, every run could be the winning run. And that's how you have to approach every hitter. And that was a mistake by Tanaka that just got erased by Colby Rasmus.
Rasmus hit 4 home runs in his last 20 at-bats in the regular season. He hits a home run on the first pitch he sees here in the postseason. 1-0 Houston. The batter Luis Valbuena, the third baseman, he had 25 home runs during the year. The Astros had 11 different players with double-digit home runs. That ties a major league record. And they had 2 other guys with 9.
Should have got him some ABs down the stretch.
Come on, Jed Lowry and Jake Marisnick. Lined into center field, a base hit for Valbuena. And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter, Chris Carter, another guy with a lot of power. 24 home runs on the season. At times not an everyday player, and that batting average is the reason why, but he got hot late. He was in the 160s, 170s a lot, finished at 199. 353 over his last dozen games with 6 homers.
And he's got some easy pop to right field. Tanaka better keep this ball in on him. The first inning, Tanaka was trying to look like he was trying to elevate the fastball to get him to see something up in the zone, getting him away, getting him out away, and now the game plan changed quick.
Yes, he did. It's a ball and a strike. Tanaka will get about as many chases, swings on pitches outside the zone as anybody in baseball. And the Astros, Carter more than most, will chase. They'll take their walks, but again, they're not afraid of the swing and miss. They're not afraid of the strikeout. They will live with the strikeouts if it means getting them some home runs. They are up there looking to do some damage. Just off the corner.
You got 2 outs in the inning. Now look at this lead by Valbuena. Now I understand it's hard to steal up Tanaka, but you got to get some more with the shift on Chris Carter. You got to take a chance on beating that throw to second base.
And he's leaning. I mean, he's leaning towards first base.
With a righty pitching.
Just 1 steal all season against Tanaka.
That's why you have to get a bigger lead. You're not going to run.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count, 2 down in the inning. Outside, it's full, and now Valbuena will get a running start. We'll see if Bird stays on the bag. Looks like he's going to. What do you think, Crucky?
Well, Chris Carter's probably not going to hit many ground balls to first base, so you understand why they're keeping Valbuena close, because of out in the gap, he might not be able to score now.
Low ball 4, and the inning continues. Well, this is just the beginning. The National League wild card game comes your way tomorrow night. You can see it on TBS. It'll be Garrett Cole and the Pirates hosting Jake Arrieta and the Cubs, and then the division series begin Thursday in Toronto. The Blue Jays hosting the Rangers, and then the winner of this game will be in Kansas City. And as always, every postseason game can be heard on ESPN Radio as you look at the coverage through Friday as well. 4 games on Friday as the National League division series begin on that day. Full house in the Bronx. 1-0 Houston, top of the second, and they've got runners at first and second for Jason Castro, their catcher. 211, 11 home runs on the year. And he takes outside ball 1. Tanaka so good in the first inning, and then Rasmus greeted him with a first pitch home run here to begin the top of the second.
But Dan, he set up Altuve, Springer, and Correa with pitches up in the zone, getting swings at those pitches, and strikes called at this. He has yet to throw a ball up in the zone this inning.
He seems really set on his slider that he's been missing.
Down low, ball 2. And Brian McCann heads to the mound. Tanaka faced the Astros once during the regular season. It was at the end of June, and in 5 innings he gave up 6 earned runs, including 3 homers, 1 to Altuve, 1 to Correa, 1 to Carter. The Yankees did win the game 9-6, a no decision for Tanaka. It was back-to-back bad starts. He had a bad one the start before against Detroit, and then that rough one at Houston. Missed some time with a forearm and wrist issue in the first half of the year. Missed a start with a hamstring problem just the week before last. 2-0, a swing and a miss, 2-1.
There you go. He finally threw one up in the zone this inning. He gets a swing and miss. I think they have to stay up there, especially against these left-handed hitters of the Astros.
And the way their swings are. The reason they're a home run hitting team is because they like the low ball. They have that low bat path, and where you're susceptible is high in the zone.
Outside ball 3, and a pitch away from loading the bases and bringing Altuve back up. What a different inning this has been than the first was for Masahiro Tanaka.
Amazing what happens to some pitchers when the first guy hits one about 500 feet.
That's the old boxing line. Everybody's got a plan till you get hit. And he got hit by Rasmus, and now struggling with his command ever since. Fouled off a full count. Every pitch so big in a 1-game scenario. Win in advance, lose, and it's over. Valbuena Carter will be on the move. Big pitch here in the early going for Tanaka. Ball 4 to load the bases. And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, will jog out to the mound.
Just kind of having trouble understanding that, you know, the first inning he was so effective with raising the eye level, throwing balls up in the strike zone. Like I said, getting foul balls, getting swing or called strikes, and then finishing them off down and away with the slider. Now he's yet to go up there but once.
The Astros after the home run by Rasmus. 2 outs and 2 on, and Castro taking a pitch just a couple of inches off the outside corner to load the bases. And Billy Crystal in the house saying, "Where was that, Blue?" Sorry, Billy. It was outside. Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, had it right. So they are loaded, as you can see. And one of the game's most dangerous hitters, Jose Altuve, is at the plate.
Careful first pitch.
Up there hacking, and he fouls it off.
Well, that could be the one. You know, they say against great pitchers you only get one. Let's see if Tanaka now can finish Altuve off. He gave him the one pitch to hit. Altuve fouled it off his foot. Now he's got to work.
Bases loaded, 2 down. And the 0-1 to Altuve. Swung on and missed. 0-2.
Count right here. You know Tanaka's going to try to get Altuve to chase something. The split finger, you got to be careful if it gets past the catcher here. If it gets past McCann, Astros have a 2-0 lead.
Down and away.
Well, you watch Brian McCann when he spreads out wide, you know it's going to either be a breaking ball or that split-fingered fastball. Tanaka going to get as low as he can to make sure he blocks that ball and keeps Valbuena from scoring.
Pitch count climbing for Tanaka. Valbuena at third, Carter at second, and Castro at first. Now Altuve waits. And the 1-2 swung on, grounded left side. Big hop Headley to second in time, and the inning is over. The Astros leave them loaded. They do get a run on the home run by Colby Rasmus. 1-0 Houston. Back in the Bronx, we go to the bottom of the second here in the American League wildcard game. The Astros on a Colby Rasmus home run lead the Yankees 1-0. Brian McCann leads off the inning for the Yankees. Didn't like that first pitch call from home plate umpire Eric Cooper. McCann will be followed by Chase Headley and Greg Bird. Outside, a ball and a strike. McCann with a productive year, 26 home runs, 94 driven in, but did not hit well in the second half of the year. 199 after the All-Star break. But there was some discussion, little whispers and rumors and debate yesterday about whether McCann would be in the starting lineup tonight or whether Joe Girardi would offer right-hand hitting John Ryan Murphy. As McCann takes a pitch that he thought was low. So in his mind, it's ball 4. And he should be on, but instead it's 2-2.
In his mind, he thought the first pitch was up in the strike zone and the second pitch was down. And I'm sure he turned around and told Eric Cooper, look, you can't give him both. If he's getting both, we're done. And that's, you know, that's a catcher talking to an umpire. I'm sure he's not saying anything bad. He's just saying if you're going to give this guy a 20-game winner both pitches, then we don't have a chance.
And a ground ball to the left side. The only player there, Valbuena, and he will throw out McCann. 1 down. Let's check in down by the Yankee dugout now with Tim Kirchin.
Yes, you're right, Dan. They considered starting John Ryan Murphy in this game against the left-hander. because McCann bats left-handed and because starting September 1st, he's hit 174. But they went back to McCann because he's the leader of this pitching staff. He catches Masahiro Tanaka very well, and he's got 9 straight seasons with 20 homers. He's a middle-of-the-order guy, so they stayed with it.
You can see the frustration on his face after the grounder, probably more frustrated with the strike zone than the ground ball. McCann, one of 4 left-handed bats in the Yankee lineup tonight against the left-hander Keuchel. And as Joe Girardi says, that's who they are. They've got a left-handed batter, a lot of left-handed batters. He actually took a couple out. Ellsbury not in the lineup. Young is. Ackley not in the lineup. Refsnyder is. Here's the switch hitting Chase Headley, the third baseman, hit .259, 11 homers. 0 for 7 this year against Keuchel in the 2 games in which he faced him.
You guys noted the strike calls in this inning. Eric Cooper does have a reputation among some advanced scouts of having a vertical strike zone which is a little lower than other umpire strike zones.
Sent down the right side, but foul. And you would think, well, Crucky, let me ask you, you would think that may help Tanaka more than Keuchel. Tanaka's a guy who will start the splitter with the knees and it'll dive. Keuchel moves a little more horizontally. Tanaka's more of a vertical guy, right?
Yeah, and it has worked for Tanaka up in the strike zone. Last inning, of course, he went away from him, but you know, Dallas Keuchel has such great movement and deception on his pitches that sometimes he tricks you with them.
And he gets strike 3 called inside corner, 2 down. All 3 strikeouts tonight have been called third strikes.
This is the deception. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Keuchel is not going to blow the ball by you. He's going to move the ball well through the zone. You see him come through the strike zone, kind of get a little bit off the plate on the inner half to Headley. But this is set up by where he threw him earlier in the count, starting up low and then away to try to grab that corner for the K.
So 2 down for Greg Bird. Bird getting a chance to play after the injury to Mark Teixeira. Initially diagnosed as a bone bruise, eventually a fracture in his leg and a foul ball on crutches today in the Yankee clubhouse and hasn't played for some time. And Bird, in 157 at-bats with the Yankees this year, hit 11 home runs. And some very big home runs for the Yankees in the month of September. Another lefty-lefty matchup with 2 down. And he lines the ball into right field for a 2-out single.
Bird had talked about the only at bat he had faced Keuchel. He struck out on a slider and he got a big grin on his face. And he said, I am so pumped to face him again, because when you talk about a one and done type situation, you want to go against the best. And he said, I feel like Keuchel's the best, but I want another chance at that pitch. Here he gets it. You can tell he's looking for it. It's going away in the zone from him. He does a nice job with those long limbs of getting that extension to a pitch that's moving away from him. A little bit off the end of the bat, but enough of it to get it in the outfield.
So the first hit of the night for the Yankees, it brings up second baseman Rob Refsnyder. Stephen Drew, who has played a lot of second base for the Yankees this year, is out with a possible concussion, some dizziness. He has talked about a potential inner ear disorder. So Dustin Ackley and Rob Refsnyder platooning at second base right now for the Yankees. Refsnyder swung the bat well for the Yankees down the stretch and earns the start here tonight. And alongside Joe Girardi, that may be more catcher to catcher rather than player to manager. McCann was some kind of frustrated.
Yeah, don't let your anger toward the umpire get in the way of trying to get calls for your pitcher.
And this is where the urgency of a one-game scenario. I mean, this is more than game 1 of a 5-game series or game 1 of a 7-game series, even though it's early in the playoffs. Every pitch so big, every call so big.
You get a guy like Greg Bird who takes this moment and thinks, I want to make sure I execute something so well because I understand what this moment means. And then you get Brian McCann, who is strikeout now. Normally he might be frustrated, but overly frustrated because of this setting.
Refsnyder swings over the top of it, 3-2.
You got to like it. 3-1 pitch, and he let the dog eat right there. He was trying to put the Yankees ahead. Yeah, this wasn't, I'm going to try to get a base hit to right field. You see that back leg collapse, the big turn of the hips. He's trying to hook something down the left field line for a 2-run homer.
Bird will be running on the pitch. And a ground ball hit foul. Keep an eye on the pitch count for Keuchel. Again, it bears repeating. He's on 3 days rest. He says no difference to him being on 3 days rest. No difference in the routine. But one of the aspects of the game within the game is, can the Yankees get his pitch count up enough that even if he's effective, even if he keeps putting up zeros, can they get him out of there at some point and get into the bullpen? Back to the mound. Keuchel, the Gold Glove Award winner last year, makes the play, and the inning is over. At the end of 2, the Astros lead 1-0. We'll see 2, 3, 4, including Carlos Correa, coming up for Houston. Welcome back to the Bronx, the American League wild card game. The Astros lead the Yankees 1-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd. 2, 3, 4, Springer, Correa, and Rasmus facing Tanaka. Rasmus's home run to lead off the 2nd, the only run of the night so far. Springer struck out in his first at bat. The Astros led the American League West for much of the season. Took the lead in the AL West kind of middle of April, lost it for a couple of weeks in July, got it back, then lost it late after Texas took 4 games from them. And A.J. Hinch said, you know what, storybook season, and all of a sudden it got tense. All of a sudden it got serious, but they responded. They won 6 of their final 8. They made the playoffs. And he told them when they went to Arizona for the season-ending series, pack for 5 cities and bring your passports. We have no idea where we're going. And they've kind of embraced the chaos, I think, a little bit about this whole situation. And why not? Very few expected them to be in the postseason this year. Strike at the knees, 3-1.
I like the approach right now with Springer down and him getting in the batter's box. You're going to see that back foot, and he's literally trying to make an effort to have it on that back line. Why? So that he can pick up that split fastball, be able to see when it's out of the zone and not chase it.
Lines one to center. Gardner back, turns, it's over his head and off the wall on a bounce, and Springer is into second base with a leadoff double.
This is why I like the approach. He's in the back of the batter's box, so he's able to see the spin, pick it up, have that extra, even if it's a 6 inches, to be able to pick up the break, see, and you see where his bat gets on the plane. This ball is moving down through the zone, but you see him drop that barrel, get it on plane, and hit this pitch through the zone so that he can drive it into center field. He's up in the batter's box just a little bit more. He hits that pitch.
It's a line drive. He hit about 405 feet.
So a leadoff double for Springer. Here's Correa. Hit a fly ball to center his first time up. We've had a chance in the last couple of days to talk to A.J. Hinch, talk to a number of Astros players, and when you ask any of them, what do you like the most about Correa, or what impresses you the most about Correa, not one of them has talked about something he does on the field. They all talk about his poise, his maturity, his willingness to learn from veteran players. And they all say the same thing. He's just a good kid. They like him.
Well, here's his job right now, even though you're third hitter, is to try to get George Springer to third base. When you look at the Yankees defense, Rep Snyder's basically right behind George Springer, trying to keep him close. Bird is shifted over, but there is a massive hole between the first baseman and the second baseman. If Correa's thinking that way, all he has to do is put it on the ground, and if it's 3 steps away from someone, he got a base hit.
Tanaka misses the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Yankee fans not very happy, and rarely are home fans happy with the strike zone, but they didn't like a couple of calls that went against McCann, in large part due to the reaction of McCann. They didn't like what was perceived as a borderline pitch there that didn't go their way. Way outside, ball 3. McCann heading out to the mound again.
And this is the difference right now of Tanaka in the first inning versus the last 2. And the reason why his pitch count has gone up, why he's had these misses, he's just does not have the same command. I mean, those first 3, I mean, you're talking about 3 best for the Astros, and Altuve, Springer, and Correa. He owned the strike zone. Anywhere he wanted any one of his 7 pitches to go, they would. And this, you see the slider just miss. It doesn't even start. That's the point. Look, it starts as a ball, moves away as a ball. You're not going to get anyone to bait if you can't start it near the strike zone.
Now, we saw Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, on the phone. See if anybody gets up in the bullpen. 3-1 pitch, grounded down to third. That will not advance the runner. They got on the phone, but nobody throwing right now, so maybe that was just for somebody to get loose, get ready, that if anything else goes wrong, you may be asked to get up. So far, nobody throwing. Both teams are carrying 9 pitchers. Remember, you can switch your playoff roster between this game and the division series. So neither team carrying as many pitchers as you would need for an entire series, especially starting pitchers. They both got 1 or more in reserve. As Rasmus, who homered his first time up, it's a lazy fly ball to left. 2 down. If you're just joining us, here's some of what has transpired so far tonight. 20-game winner Dallas Keuchel is on the mound for Houston, and he has looked pretty sharp, especially in the second inning. Colby Rasmus taking the first pitch that he saw in the second inning from Masahiro Tanaka and depositing it deep into the seats in right. And that home run is the only run of the ball game thus far.
He's upset. He thinks he just missed another one.
Almost the same location.
Here's Evan Gattis, the DH. Comes over to the American League and has not caught it all this year. A little bit of left field, primarily DHing. A big power threat. And the Astros talk about what a presence he is in the batter's box. The size, the beard, no batting gloves.
No pine tar, too.
No.
Just the way he holds the bat and his stance. I mean, he just looks old school. I mash.
6'4", 260. Deep in that crouch. 0-2.
That's a thing. You talk about the people that were brought in to help these young kids, and Evan Gattis is one of those guys. Talking to Jeffrey Luna, the general manager, he was talking about, Evan Gattis, what he means to these younger players. Gattis is only 29 years old. It's not like he's a fossil.
What an escape this would be for Tanaka after the leadoff double by Springer. Can he get 3, 4, and 5? Good block by McCann. A pitch up, but it's fouled off by Gattis. Gattis with one of the more unusual stats of the entire baseball season. He had 11 triples this year and did not steal a base. He's not a fast guy, but somehow found the right parts of the right parks to hit 11 triples. Became the first player in 60 years to have 11 triples and not steal a base on the season.
And the right outfielder. Imagine if you're the guy who took 3 on.
1-2 again. Down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. October's stressful, huh?
One and done, too, is stressful.
Yep. Whoever wins tonight will take on the Kansas City Royals in an American League Division Series. First time the Yankees have been in the postseason since 2012. Got a piece and a weak roller toward third. Barehanded by Headley. Got him. Tanaka gets out of it. The Astros strand the leadoff double. And we will go to the bottom of the third in the Bronx in the American League wildcard game. It remains Houston 1 and the Yankees nothing. A good start to this one with everything on the line in the wildcard game here in the Bronx. In the Bronx, Chase Headley making a very good play on that infield dribbler, barehanding and getting Evan Gattis by a step to end the top of the third. Brian Cashman, the GM, likes what he sees. Everything riding on this game tonight for the Astros and Yankees. Houston leading 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the third here in the Bronx. Full house and a lively crowd as we welcome you back to New York. Ann Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, John Kruk up top, and we are joined here by Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Chris Archer, one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball. Is this your TV debut tonight with Baseball Tonight now?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How are you liking it so far?
I'm having a great time. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here with us as Didi Gregorius leads it off, and I guess a lot to talk about when you talk about Tanaka and Keuchel. When you look at Dallas Keuchel, what makes him the pitcher that he is in your mind?
Fastball command, and then the way he can work the edges, like you see right there, paint. You know, also him having a good catcher, presenting the ball to the umpire. We've seen him get a couple calls off the plate. And that's him being on the same page with Jason Castro. He's not shaking. I haven't seen him shake one time, and that's always a good sign.
Gregorius sends the ball to left center field, hangs up long enough for Rasmus to make the catch. One down. Are you the kind of guy who likes to sit and watch other pitchers, learn from them, talk to them, really see what makes them tick?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I can learn a lot from Keuchel because we're so different. If I can add elements of his game into mine, it's going to help me grow as a pitcher. Like, if you watch the last sequence, it looked like a cutter on the corner, then he went breaking ball right off of that cutter. So it looked like the same pitch. It ended up 3 inches off the plate away. You get weak contact away, and that's why he's having a great year this year.
20-game winner. May win the Cy Young. Certainly one of the top 2 candidates, along with David Price, as the Yankees go back to the top of the lineup for Brett Gardner.
You faced so many of these hitters, the Yankees. How did you approach a guy like Brett Gardner?
Brett Gardner, you have to get ahead. You have to let all of these hitters know that you're in strike throwing mode. And then as the game progresses, 4th, 5th inning, 2nd, 3rd time through, you can start to expand. And tonight so far, Keuchel's done a good job of that. And I think that's, you know, overall, that's how you're going to just have success in general.
Against anybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
1-1 the count. 1-0 Houston. Bottom of the third.
We found out who the most polite person in the booth is.
Well, truthfully, not a lot of competition for that honor here in this booth, Kruk.
That's a good point.
I'll second that.
Yeah, you kind of got grandfathered out of that a long time ago, my friend. When you pitched here at Yankee Stadium, when you have pitched here, Chris, 314 down the line, some people say it's not even that far. A lot of left-handed bats in this Yankee lineup. How much, if at all, did that change your game plan?
I think you just have to eliminate the conditions of the field, whether that's weather, whether that's fans, or whether it's the dimensions of the field. You have to go out there and pitch your game, and if they do hit one that's 316 and it happens to leave, you have to remind yourself, yeah, again, he gets ahead early, and then he can expand the strike zone when he has 2 strikes and get bad swings.
All right, Chris, take us through the whole sequence. You'll see the at-bat here.
Okay. He started, you know, down, got ahead, went underneath that, he took. Again, it's a good hitter. It looks like he just got away with one there, and then he expanded. That wasn't the greatest sequence, but it just shows you, even though he's throwing 88 to 92 miles an hour, how good his stuff is. He can still get swing and miss in the zone and out of the zone.
Here's Chris Young. Is it how good the stuff is, or is it how good the location of the stuff?
It's a combination. Yeah. He obviously has good stuff, and he can command. That's why, obviously, like I've said, he's been successful. You see guys early in their career, like myself, I just needed to be a strike thrower. And then once I became a strike thrower, then I learned how to, you know, work in, work out, work up and down, in the zone, out of the zone. And that's where the success comes.
2-0 the count on Chris Young. 1-0 Astros, bottom 3. What about pitching on 3 days rest, especially in a game of this magnitude?
Oh, yeah. And see there, again, before we get to that, that's great presentation by the catcher. It's a difference maker. These umpires have such a tough job back there. Castro barely moves his glove, gets the call. I mean, you know, even Chris Young think that's in off the plate. And then you go soft away and get swing and miss. But pitching on 3 days rest in this situation isn't as tough as if it was a regular season game. There's so much adrenaline. The atmosphere is actually great here. I played 10 games here this year, and I haven't seen it close to this. So again, he's painting.
Vintage Keuchel right now, 3 up and 3 down to go the Yankees. He strikes out a couple. We'll have Chris Archer back with us in the booth next half inning. Talk some Tanaka when we come back. Welcome back to the 2015 American League wildcard game on ESPN. Tonight's telecast is presented by Hankook Tires. With Tim Kirchin, Buster Olney, John Kruk, Jessica Mendoza, and Tampa Bay Rays pitcher Chris Archer. I'm Dan Schulman. We go to the top of the 4th. The Astros are up 1-0. Carlos Gomez leads it off against Masahiro Tanaka. First pitch swinging, a belt to deep left field, and it is 2-0. And for a guy whose manager told us, you know what, he's still got a bit of an intercostal thing. I want him to swing at about 75% effort. That was 100% effort and a home run for Carlos Gomez.
And look at the support from his teammates. And this is a guy who just fought his way back into this lineup because he wanted to play even if he wasn't 100%. But as you mentioned, Dan, the biggest concern was the torque of his swing. Because of that intercostal muscle injury, how much can he really get that torque in that last swing? Obviously, he wasn't hurt.
Second home run of the night for the Astros. 2-0 they lead. And both home runs, guys, have come on the first pitch of an inning. Colby Rasmus in the second, Carlos Gomez in the 4th.
I love that approach because you can't let a strikeout pitcher like Tanaka get in a position to strike you out. And Colby Rasmus, Carlos Gomez, you know, the first pitch might be the best pitch you see. You got to let it go.
He's a guy who likes to play, guy with a lot of energy, not necessarily best friends with the Yankees. They've had some issues.
I don't think that bothers him.
No.
He sat out this whole last weekend. How much do you think he's envisioned this at bat? I mean, that's the great thing about being able to prepare for a pitcher not having a game before and think, what's he going to throw me first pitch that I'm just going to unleash on?
The Bronx suddenly got quiet.
It did. The Astros doing what the Astros do best, hitting home runs, up 2-0, top 4. Got a piece, did Valbuena.
And Chris, we saw after Tanaka gave up the home run to Rasmus how hard it was for him to settle in. I mean, what's that like? What's that feeling like, especially in this setting? You give up a big bomb, and now you gotta come back.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to continue to trust yourself. But it did look like he was a little thrown off by that home run because I think he walked 2 guys and gave up a base hit after that. Fortunately, he was able to get out of it, and it looks like he settled in there too with the strikeout.
Chris, take us through the home run pitch. What do you see here?
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to throw a slider, got around it, and that's not a good place to throw a righty, especially not one who's looking for something up, out over the plate. That plays right into a swing path.
Is that the one you guys refer to as a cement mixer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here's Chris Carter.
But see, there's a split, or it looked like a split. It was 90 miles an hour and went straight down. And you know, that's what Tanaka's been doing in his major league careers. He's been going underneath with the split, and then he's been throwing the slider right off of that and working his fastball. And it looks like he's attacking more now than when he gave up the first homer. And that's going to be critical to his success because they really only need 5 innings out of him, to be honest, because they can condense the game to 5 innings with that bullpen that they have.
Justin Wilson, Delano Betances, Andrew Miller at the back end of that Yankee pen. In on the hands of Carter, 1-2. You faced Houston August the 20th. You threw a 1-hitter and struck out 11. What you have going well for you that night?
That night, I actually had everything going. It was a rare night where you had everything going and above average command as well. It was a really good night. They were expanding. I was pumping strikes, and it played to my favor.
Here's the thing, he's given up 2 solo home runs, and the way Dallas Keuchel's pitching, his pitch count starting to get up. We talked about 3 days rest. Yankees keep this at two runs. You get into the Houston bullpen, this thing's far from over. If you think 2 runs in a postseason game is you can't come back from this bullpen for the Astros isn't the greatest right now.
Full count.
Yeah, you're totally right. If you put it on paper, the bullpen of the Yankees is definitely going to outweigh, and that's why they're relying so heavily on Keuchel. So it will be interesting as his pitch count gets up on 3 days rest how they manage the bullpen.
And Carter lays off and draws the walk. The third given up by Tanaka tonight.
We showed the Colby Rasmus home run in the 2nd inning to lead off the 2nd inning. A mislocation by Masahiro Tanaka, and the same thing in this inning to lead off the first pitch of the at bat. And Chris said it. A hanging slider, if you threw that to a lefty, he probably takes it because it's up and away. Reed spin, it's up and away. But a righty, that's just, you're asking for someone to retrieve that ball that isn't wearing a Yankee uniform.
Yes, sir. And if you look out to the bullpen now, it looks like there's some movement. It looks like it might be Justin Wilson.
And this is what Joe Girardi talked about, and both managers talked about it. The pecking order doesn't mean as much in this kind of a situation. If you need a guy to get out of a jam, you might use him earlier than you otherwise would, and then you'll figure out the later stuff later. And Justin Wilson, who normally would be a 6th, 7th inning guy for the Yankees, is up in the 4th right now in case Tanaka continues to struggle.
Yeah, it's interesting because they do have some length down there with Adam Warren, who is a starter. His stuff plays up in the bullpen, so they moved him back to the pen, especially for the postseason. And he can give you 3 innings. So if you need 2 and change, he can come in and be the bridge if you need to use Justin Wilson this early.
The support not quite as loud here as it was a couple of innings ago. The Astros now up 2-0. There's a chopper foul on the first base side.
Well, you also know the postseason's a different animal when your 8th and 9th guy are down in the bullpen in like the 3rd inning.
Oh yeah.
Usually they trot out there in the 5th or 6th, and this is all hands on deck right now.
Gomez has homered. Rasmus has homered. 2 solo shots. 2-0 Houston. Leadoff hitter Jose Altuve on deck. And the 0-2. Bouncer to first. They get the lead runner back to first in time for the double play.
Pretty smooth.
Hey, Chris, if the baseball thing doesn't pan out, come on by. You want to stay? He wants to stay, Arch. He wants to stay.
One more half, please.
One more half inning. Chris Archer will stay. Beltran, A-Rod, McCann coming up for the Yankees. Bottom 4 in the Bronx. Astros 2, Yankees nothing. The American League wild card game from Yankee Stadium. And the Yankees bring up 3, 4, 5. Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez, and Brian McCann. Beltran with a ground out his first time up. Chris Archer with the Rays is back with us, and Dallas Keuchel the last couple of innings, Chris, looks like he's kind of settling into rocking chair mode. He looks like he's really in a rhythm right now.
Oh yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about being on your island out there. Whenever you start to settle in and you can backdoor cutters 2-0, you know you're feeling good and it's going to be a successful night.
He's given up 1 hit, 1 walk, and he has struck out 5.
And even that hit that he gave up, it was to Bird a couple innings ago. It was a well-located pitch on the outer half. Bird did a good job of getting solid wood on it. But, you know, even the 1 hit he gave up was a well-executed pitch. So, again, no reason to back away, especially with the 2-run cushion here.
2-2. On the appeal, he didn't go, and the count is full.
Well, I think what you've seen, too, the last 2 or 3 innings from Dallas Keuchel is there's nothing in the center of the plate anymore. It's corner, 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 off the plate, in, away. Yankees had a chance in the first inning, and they didn't capitalize. And Chris, you know, sometimes you got in that first inning, location ain't great. You get away with it. You feel like you're pretty happy with what the end result's going to be.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you're not sharp that first inning and can get through it, it definitely gives you confidence going forward, because you're like, wait a second, I didn't even have my best stuff, best command against 1, 2, 3, possibly 4. I got away with it. Now we can roll.
And now he's been rolling. 3-2 again. Got him. Strikeout number 6 between innings. Buster Olney with the Astros manager, A.J. Hinch.
AJ, some concern about Carlos Gomez coming into this game. What do you think of his swing effort on that one?
You know, I actually think it's a perfect swing effort for him. I mean, we want to tone it down even when he's healthy, but perfect opportunity for him to just take what they give him. He gets a hold of it. Obviously a big home run, a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, exactly what you expect out of Gomez.
Dallas Keuchel, 52 pitches. How much longer can you go with him on 3 days rest?
You know, he can go a while. You know, he's got a lot. He conserves his energy very well. He's usually a little more pitch efficient, but with this type of intensity, we're going to go as long as we can with him before we turn it over to a pen. It's been pretty good this year.
AJ, thanks.
Springer racing back onto the warning track, denying Alex Rodriguez. One of the underappreciated aspects of this Astros team, doesn't get talked about a lot. They're a pretty good defensive team.
And you see the athleticism. I mean, that to me, it's the read, it's the way that he's able to go back on this ball. But you see exactly when Alex hits this ball, it looks like it's going to be a double right off the bat. Springer, it's his first step. He reads it so well, he goes back, he doesn't take a side angle. Because of that, he knows exactly where he's at on the field. No hesitancy. That's how you make a catch like that.
So 2 down in the bottom of the 4th. Brian McCann, the batter now, and he bounces 1 foul right side.
I think that's one thing that we're starting to see more of is athleticism in baseball. All the exciting players are extremely athletic. Mike Trout, he could play football if he wanted to. Giancarlo Stanton, same thing. Yasiel Puig. Some of my teammates, Kevin Kiermaier, Brandon Geyer, Steven Souza. These are all guys who can. We got a ground ball to second base here. Jose Altuve shoots it on over there.
Little play-by-play from Chris Archer. All right, I need my job. Get out of here. Stop doing play-by-play.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for stopping by, Chris. Great job. End of 4. Wild card game of the Astros up 2-0 on the Yankees. Top 5 in the Bronx. The American League wild card game with the Astros leading the Yankees 2-0. Solo home runs from Colby Rasmus and Carlos Gomez. Top of the order is Jose Altuve. He takes a strike from Masahiro Tanaka. Altuve, a strikeout and a fielder's choice. The Astros 2 runs on 4 hits. The Yankees no runs on just 1 hit so far off Dallas Keuchel. And time called by Brian McCann, and that's why you see Eric Cooper pointing at the catcher. Yankee fans are still booing, but Cooper's trying to tell them, hey, it wasn't Altuve.
You saw Altuve pointing toward Brian McCann too, saying, hey, don't drill me with this when your catcher called it, not me.
Altuve will be followed by Springer and Correa. This is the top of the Astros lineup. Houston 2 years ago, 51 and 111. And they got up to 70 wins last year, 70 and 92, 86 and 76 this year, and a spot in the postseason. Down to third, gobbled up by Headley. 1 down. Between innings, we had a chance to visit with the Yankee manager Joe Girardi. Joe, we saw Larry get on the phone last inning down to the bullpen. Your thoughts on Tanaka so far?
Well, he's made a couple mistakes tonight. He made a mistake with a fastball to Rasmus that he kind of pulled over, and he looked like he left a breaking ball up to Gomez. And, you know, I mean, we have those 3 guys at the end that we feel can give us 5 innings. So if he got in trouble that inning, I was going to go to Wilson. Dallas Keuchel looks like he's settling in. How do you feel about the at-bats your guys have had against him? I think our at-bats have been pretty good, but we got to get some base hits. You know, you can have some long at-bats, but you got to get some base hits and just keep fighting.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
George Springer at the plate. A strikeout, a double, and a fine running catch to deny Alex Rodriguez of a potential extra base hit. And a ground ball to short. Backhanded by Didi Gregorius. Long throw from the hole. In time.
You talk about a guy, Didi Gregorius, who's taken a lot of flack early in the season for making a lot of errors, but one thing he is very athletic, and to make that play, understanding how quick George Springer is. You know, he didn't have time to set his feet, threw it going away from first base, and look how much he still had on this ball. You talk about a cannon for a shortstop.
2 down in the inning. Here's Correa, who has flied out and grounded out. And a ball pulled foul, 1-1, as Justin Wilson has resumed throwing. 2nd inning in a row that he's been up in the Yankee pen. On deck is Colby Rasmus, who homered off Tanaka in the 2nd. 2-0 Houston. They lead top 5. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Correa. And back to their feet, many of them at least here in the Bronx, with 2 outs and a 1-2 count on Correa.
Need to get these fans back in the game, Dan. We're talking about down 2 runs. Winner goes on, loser goes home, and you're playing in your home ballpark. You're down 2-0. Your offense is stagnant. You need something to get you going. And the fans, to me, it can really get your heart beating a little faster. Understand that there's a sense of urgency going forward for the New York Yankees right now.
1-2 again, up high with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is the best hitter on this Astros team. I mean, that's huge for Tanaka and for these fans. Be able to finish off the 5th, getting this guy.
Little looper into right field. It'll be caught by Beltran to end the inning. So the Astros go in order. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th here at Yankee Stadium. 2-0 Houston. Night football presented by Wells Fargo as the 12th ranked undefeated Noles take on a Miami team looking to snap a 5-game losing streak to their rivals in Tallahassee. Miami and Florida State Saturday 8 Eastern on ABC. Back here at Yankee Stadium, the Astros lead 2-0. Bottom 5 here in the American League wild card game. The winner advances to a division series against the Kansas City Royals that will begin on Thursday. Texas and Toronto in the other American League division series also beginning on Thursday. Tomorrow night, the National League wild card game as the Pirates host the Cubs. The winner of that will play the Cardinals, and the Dodgers will play the Mets. Chase Headley called out on strikes, his first time up. Keuchel has struck out 6 through 4 innings. He's a big ground ball guy, but his strikeout rate is way up this year. He struck out 18% of batters he faced last year. He struck out 24% of batters he faced this year. He had over 200 strikeouts this year for a guy who doesn't throw harder than 90-91.
I think it's a combination of confidence and understanding his stuff and what he can do with it. A couple years ago, I think, he knew what pitches he could throw, but didn't understand quite how to command them. And what we've seen even tonight is an ability to not only paint, but also expand the strike zone when needed.
It's a fair ball. Valbuena in time.
And this is what I'm talking about. There's really no Yankee hitter that's yet to barrel up Dallas Keuchel tonight. And the reason is he's been able to just hit his location. Look at his fastball command, just paint it. The outside corner, especially these lefties, that's why they haven't been able to make solid contact. Then understanding the strike zone of Eric Cooper and what he's giving. These are just barely off the plate, an inch, 2 inches, but those are missed hits. Then he can go with his slider. It's going to look exactly like the fastball, but now it's breaking much more off the plate.
Look at what he's done against the Yankees this year. 2 regular season starts and tonight. 1 regular season start here, 1 regular season start in Houston, 20 1/3. He has not allowed a run, and look at the strikeout to walk ratio, 27-2 against the 2nd highest scoring team in baseball this year. Now, granted, they didn't finish the season that well offensively.
And Dan, a team with great zone control. The Yankees do walk a lot. The fact that he's only kept him to 2 walks says a lot.
Shallow center, Gomez with a running catch, 2 down.
We talk about the jump that George Springer got on the ball. Carlos Gomez gets about as good a jump on balls as anyone in the game, and he did with this one here, Greg Bird. But when you look around this outfield, here's a play. Watch Gomez right off the bat with the jump. Speed overcomes a lot of mistakes, but speed and good jumps take a lot of hits away from people. But Colby Rasmus, Carlos Gomez, George Springer, all center fielders, all athletic. They play the corners. They play center field, of course, but you wonder why balls don't drop in a lot against this outfield. You have 3 athletic guys playing out there who all play center field, and now they all accepted the fact that yes, I'll be a corner guy. Tough for the opponents to hit the ball in the air and have it drop.
And both with the metrics or the stats and with the eye test, this is one of the best defensive teams in baseball. Here's Ref Snyder. Tapped back to the mound his first time. Greg Bird has the only hit for the Yankees tonight. As now Ref Snyder sends one high and deep, center field, but to the wrong part of the ballpark. About 395 feet away. Gomez hauls it in with a smile on his face, and Dallas Keuchel has set down 10 in a row. Sports Bar in Houston, they're watching the game, and they are excited about their Astros, who had to go on the road here to come to Yankee Stadium. But so far, so good if you're a fan of Houston. Come on, get on TV. There we go. Now that this guy's here, we can start. 2-0, the Astros lead as we go to the top of the 6th. And Joe Girardi has gone to the bullpen. Left-hander Justin Wilson is into the game. Acquired from the Pirates in exchange for Francisco Cervelli last offseason. And he had a very good year for the Yankees. 5-0 with a 3.10 ERA in 74 appearances. Can get out lefties and righties. Joe Girardi really towards the end of the season. And guys, we saw this a lot in Yankee games. He's got 3 relievers he can really trust, plus Adam Warren, if Adam Warren is in the bullpen, which he is tonight. Miller, Betances, Wilson, and Warren. But beyond that, it was really dicey for the Yankees. So in this kind of a situation, Jess, I mean, he's going to one of his trusted guys right now.
This is the best part of this Yankees team, is the bullpen in a 1-game situation. Their best athletes, their best players, their biggest stars are on the back end of this bullpen, starting with Justin Wilson. You mentioned Betances and Miller. Problem is they need some runs to be able to afford the Yankees to shut down the rest of the Astros.
Never ever won a game without scoring, Dan.
I believe that's true, Chris.
It seems to be impossible. But the Yankees right now, they just, I mean, honestly, they look like they're swinging underwater. And there's that pitch. You see McCann hold that ball there. Remember his first at bat, he got 2 calls he thought weren't strikes that were called strikes. He held that one there for a while.
Inside off the glove of McCann to the backstop. 3-1 the count on Rasmus.
I think what's so shocking, though, with the Yankees offense is you look at even just the first half and even from the All-Star break for a little bit, how strong they were, how exciting they were to watch. But since that September 1st, look at the numbers. I mean, they're 12th last in runs per game, batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. Those are the big numbers that this team was used to putting up earlier in the season.
Way inside, and Rasmus draws the leadoff walk. So here's Evan Gattis, who has flied out and grounded out. You know, Altuve made an interesting point yesterday at the Astros workout, that bringing in players like a Gattis, like a Jed Lowry, like a Pat Neshek, guys who have played in the postseason before for other teams, has helped the young nucleus of this team understand what it's like to be in a pennant race and to get to the postseason and what needs to be done to get to the postseason. And he even made the case that, you know what, all the Astros minor league teams have had a lot of successes. They've won championships. So the guys who have come up, the rookies who have come up with postseason experience as well.
Well, when you have the first round pick for however many years in a row they had, and you know, yeah, your minor league team should be pretty good, but that does help. I'll tell you that, because once you play in a championship, whether it's A-ball, AA, whatever, you get that feeling for what it's like to play in a big game. Now, granted, no minor leaguers ever played in this big a stage right here, Yankee Stadium, but there's something about that calming, yes, I've been there, I've done it, why can't I do it here type of deal. And like I said, sometimes when you're young, ignorance is bliss. They probably don't know that, you know, the Yankees have won 27 world championships.
Leadoff man aboard. 2-0 Astros, top 6. And a guy with a ton of power, 27 home runs on the season, in Evan Gattis. And meanwhile, activity again in the Yankee pen, and it's Dellin Betances. 6th inning, Yankees trailing, but again, the urgency of a one-game playoff. Betances is up.
You don't want to go down losing a game and leave your best bullets out in the bullpen. And Joe Girardi knows that scoring a run off Dallas Keuchel has been impossible for the Yankees this year. Scoring 3, you're asking a lot, so they better keep it at 2 if they want to have a chance. And you got to figure here, if 2-2 count, if Gattis gets on, you got to have a feeling if Betances is going to come in to get Gomez. Can't let this inning get away from you.
Should be 2. And it is. Well, mic'd up tonight is Astros third base coach Gary Pettis. Listen in as he watches Carlos Gomez's home run.
Get up, ball! Get up! Yes, sir! Boy, go, go!
Well, Carlos Gomez can go get him in the outfield. I mean, Gary Pettis could go get him in the outfield. Man, could he cover some ground.
You ain't kid. He could about as good. Him and Devon White, I think, were the two guys that did it differently. Devon had those long strides and covered a ton of ground. But Gary Pettis was as good as they get.
Here's Gomez. Homered his last time up.
Something up in the zone, and he unleashed.
I think he might have hurt his side there on that swing.
I'm with you. The way he walked out.
All I saw was Looked like A.J. Hinch take off from the top step to go down the dugout to tell someone you're probably going in.
Off the glove of Wilson. Scooped up by Gregorius to end the inning. Wilson gets out of it. The Yankees coming up bottom 6. Gregorius will lead it off. Yankees down 2-0. Carlos Gomez got a visit in between innings from the Houston trainer, but he stays in the game. Going bottom 6, 2-0 Astros. Didi Gregorius takes a strike from Dallas Keuchel. It was a swing and a miss by Gomez in the top half of the inning. Remember, a strain intercostal. He grimaces, he walks, he grimaces again. He tweaked it, but he will stay in the game.
And I've had that injury before, and on your swing, it's not so much the acceleration, it's the deceleration. So on the back end of that swing that he took a hack on is where you're going to use those muscles and irritate it.
Ground ball to the right side and past a diving Altuve into right field, a base hit. Snapping a streak of 10 in a row sent down by Keuchel.
I think Dallas Keuchel's the type of pitcher you got to take what he gives you, because he doesn't throw anything in the center of the plate. Now, that's a mistake right there to Didi Gregorius. A lot of guys would overswing when they read a mistake off the pitcher's hand, but you got to understand where you're at in this game. You need base runners, and Didi Gregorius did what he's supposed to do with that pitch. Get it in play, hit it hard somewhere, get it past the diving Altuve, and now finally they have the leadoff hitter on for the first time in this game.
And they've woken up the crowd. Top of the order, Brett Gardner, 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts. The American League wild card game from Yankee Stadium. The Astros on a couple of solo home runs. Colby Rasmus, Carlos Gomez lead 2-0. Look at the pitch count for Keuchel, pitching on 3 days rest. High in the first 2 innings. Much more efficient since. 76 now as he works here in the 6th inning.
And that's exactly what A.J. Hinch told us. He gets better as the game goes.
In on the grass at third, Valbuena. And a ball and a strike on Gardner. And there's some movement now in the Astros pen. Chad Quall's getting up. Now remember, Keuchel set down 10 in a row coming into this inning. Gregorius hits a 2-hopper that finds a hole between first and second, but A.J. Hinch, like Joe Girardi, you can't leave anything to chance. Do you guys see any signs that Keuchel is nearing the end of his rope at all?
I don't. No. I think he made a mistake to Gregorius. You know, he hung that breaking ball, but you know, he's made 2 really good, made a couple really good pitches though to Brett Gardner right here.
Left-hander Tony Sipp throwing as well. Leadoff man aboard for the Yankees. Tying run at the plate in the bottom of the 6th. And he gets Gardner for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, we've talked about the sequence that Keuchel has used all game long and setting up that strikeout pitch, the slider that you see at the end. How does he set it up? He starts with his fastball, being able to locate it. Gardner takes anything out of the zone, but it's being able to place that pitch low and away so he gets in the head of Gardner that, hey, when I hit this zone, it's going to be a strike, but then the last one just moves away with a slider.
Gardner getting the start over Ellsbury. Joe Girardi said because of the body of work for Gardner against lefties this year. Gardner hitting them better than Ellsbury has, but not so far tonight. Chris Young is the batter here as he takes low ball 1.
You talk about, you know, balance and posture as a hitter, and Dallas Keuchel can make you feel uncomfortable with this breaking stuff. But look at Brett Gardner, it all leaned over, back leg collapses, not on balance with the swing. You know, really, it's tough to hit Dallas Keuchel tonight the way it is. It makes it a ton more difficult when your mechanics in your swing are off like Brett Gardner's is.
Who's Keuchel remind you of, Truckee, that you may have faced?
Tom Glavine with a better breaking ball, I think. He had, Tom Glavine didn't throw many break balls. Basically fastball slider, or fastball change. But I mean, he located, and once he established outside, he would move it a little further out to make you chase. He was, well, I mean, 300 wins in a Hall of Famer. That's
pretty decent.
Yeah, he did okay.
And a ground ball to the left side. Correa shovels barehanded Altuve to get one, but they don't get the out at first. What a play up the middle to get the lead runner.
Well, we've been giving the Audis some love, but Correa and Altuve, and Dan, you've talked about this, the relationship that they've had from the moment that Correa has come on. Look at him reach, know exactly the location. He uses his whole body, but Altuve having awareness of knowing the speed of Young to barehand the ball to try to have a chance at the double play. But Correa, look at his whole body just falling over.
Tell you what, A.J. Hinch holding his breath too. That collision slide right there. Gregorius went after him.
Yeah. Pretty
hard. Looked like Altuve was limping around a little bit after that, after the contact.
He is fortunate not to have been injured on that play, as Gregorius slid across the bag.
Well, the rule is you have to start your slide before you reach second base, and Gregorius a little late with that slide, and you're lucky you don't see a major knee injury by Jose Altuve.
There's Beltran with a runner at first, 2 down now, and the count in his favor. Beltran, arguably the steadiest, maybe best hitter the Yankees had in the second half of the season. Some of their other hitters fell off, did not have the numbers in the second half they had in the first half. This guy is still dangerous.
He's the only guy to hit Keuchel.
Ripped foul.
He had a home run early this season, was 4 for 9.
Well, you look at that pitch right there, Jess. 2-0 count. You know Beltran's trying to tie this game up. He ain't trying to hit a single. He's trying to tie this thing up 2-0. But Keuchel throws it far enough in that he can't keep it fair.
Line into center, a base hit for Beltran. A rare mistake over the heart of the plate by Keuchel, and Beltran at first representing the tying run. And A.J. Hinch is out. Keuchel's turned his back on him. Sip and Quall's ready, and what is Hinch going to do?
What I like about Beltran, too, in his at-bat is, you mentioned it, Crucky, he had a big home run swing the pitch before, but what does he do? He shortens up to get the base hit for that last one.
Well, Keuchel must have looked into Hinch's eyes and given him the look that he wanted to see. He left him in.
I think also, Dan, it's a situation where, Alex's last at bat, he hit a ball to right field. Springer made a great play on. And he's thinking, hey, what do you think with this guy? What are we going to do here? Can you get him? If you can't, we got to get Qualls in. And Keuchel, of course, being a 20-game winner, and the ace of the staff said, no, he's mine. And you got to trust him in this situation.
On their feet in the Bronx. 2 on, 2 out. First pitch swinging and a routine fly ball to center to end the inning. Keuchel gets out of an end of 6, still 2-0 Astros. Welcome back to the American League wildcard game at Yankee Stadium. Jose Altuve and the Astros leading the Yankees 2-0. As we go to the top of the 7th, Dallas Keuchel, who may have been a batter away from coming out of this game, got Alex Rodriguez to hit a fly ball to center. The Yankees strand 2. And we go top 7 now. Justin Wilson still in the game for the Yankees. Luis Valbuena will lead it off for Houston. He is singled and struck out. 7, 8, 9 coming up for the Astros. Valbuena, Chris Carter, and Jason Castro. So far, the Astros have gotten everything they could have hoped for from Dallas Keuchel in his first major league start on 3 days rest. Balbuena goes around. It's 1-1. Up again in the Yankee pen, Dellin Betances. A solo home run for Colby Rasmus on the first pitch thrown by Masahiro Tanaka in the second inning, and a solo home run by Carlos Gomez on the first pitch thrown by Tanaka in the fourth inning. 2-0 Houston. Popped up. This will get back out of play. 2-2. The Astros have not been to the postseason since 2005 and lost 100 or more games 3 straight years, 2011, 12, and 13. And I think just about everybody, maybe with the possible exception of some people within the organization, thinks they are ahead of schedule. Had a very good season. There's the 2-2, rollover foul ball.
Sports Illustrated have a 2017 world champion,
Yes.
Houston Astros?
Yes.
It's not 2017 yet.
No.
Is it? All right.
I'm glad you checked them.
Out of play.
Balbuena, his numbers against lefties this season have been pretty awful. 158. AJ Hinch telling us just pregame, saying, look, this is a guy who has been hot as of late against lefties, so I want to keep him in there in a situation like this. Let's see, he's working the count.
Full count. Betances ready if needed in the Yankee pen. Activity resumes in the Astros pen.
And with Chris Carter up next and Jason Castro, you have to think that if Balbuena gets on, Betances has to come in for Carter.
Rip foul. He threw more innings in relief than any pitcher in baseball this year, Betances. Not quite as good at the end of the season as he was early on. He was virtually unhittable for a few months. Still awfully good at the end, but not quite as unhittable. Fouled back. Boy, this is a 9-pitch at bat and counting right now for Balbuena. 25 home runs on the season.
And that's why I think that if he wins this battle with Justin Wilson, you can't risk him being maybe a little tired. Throwing to Chris Carter. Carter hits a home run. Game's out of reach.
Let's go down to Tim Kirkjian.
Yes, Dan, Dellin Betances is up in the bullpen. He's had a little bit of trouble lately because of a lot of overwork because he's been so good. But he is the first reliever since Rob Dibble in 1990-91 to strike out at least 120 batters strictly as a reliever in back-to-back seasons. That's how dominant he's been, and they're probably going to need him pretty soon tonight.
He and Miller as good a 1-2 combo at the end of the pen as any team had this year. Down the left side, Chris Young giving chase, running out of room.
Balbuena right now, I mean, he is just battling, and I think the difference watching him actually just this last week in the lefties that he has faced is just seeing the ball better. Usually these are swing and miss hits, and this is now I think 3 or 4 consecutive foul balls that he's had with 2 strikes in all parts of the zone.
Yeah, and Tim was talking about Betances and his workload. Guys, when he pitched on Saturday, it was his 15th appearance in 33 days. I talked to him today and asked him how he's doing. He said, ready to go.
Everybody's got to be ready to go. It's October. And Joe Girardi is going to call on Betances and Miller at some point in the next few innings, regardless of what the score is. Ground ball down to first. Bird unassisted. And Joe Girardi is out. Crucky, as you speculated, that's going to be all for Wilson, and Betances will be coming on to face Chris Carter. A pitching change here with the Bronx, with the Astros leading 2-0 in the top of the 7th. .com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, pitch tracking, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download the At Bat app today. And don't miss the Cubs and Pirates in the National League Wild Card game presented by Budweiser tomorrow on TBS. Back here in the top of the 7th, the pitching change. Dellin Betances has entered the game for the Yankees. Houston leads 2-0. Betances averaged 14 strikeouts per 9 innings this year. 131 strikeouts in 84 innings. And as we mentioned, though, later in the season, not quite as dominant as he was earlier. The walks were up, gave up a few homers. Still pretty good numbers in August, September, but not superhuman.
Yeah, since he really struggled. But his fastball command, you see the first 2 pitches here to Chris, or 2 of the 3 pitches, not really locating very well. And that was that's what, well, you can't say haunted him in the second half of the season, but base on balls have hurt him.
Well, and it's not just that they're balls, it's that they're not close enough to even swing at, like that last one. I mean, if you're going to miss, it's one thing to miss 2 to 3 inches off. If you go 2 to 3 feet off, it's a non-competitive pitch that no one's swinging at.
So he walks Carter. That brings up Castro. And Carter is going to leave for a pinch runner. It'll be Jonathan Villar. With a lead, A.J. Hinch will make a defensive change as well. He'll bring in probably Marvin Gonzalez to play first base. So Villar in there to add a little speed. The Astros have some speed as well. They led the American League in stolen bases on the year with 121. So the power kind of overshadows some of the other good things about this team. The speed, the defense. Castro has walked and grounded into a double play. The shift is on as he takes inside, ball 1.
And I've never seen a guy 6'9" that's quick to home plate or quick to first. So if you're VR right here, you might. Of course, you want to make Betances throw a strike. You don't want to give him an out when he's not commanding his pitches, but I think you got to be running here pretty soon.
Yeah, this year, Crucky, opponent 17 steals, 21 attempts.
Well, he just threw 2 sliders. The first 2 pitches of this at bat to Jason Castro, and VR hasn't moved yet.
Meanwhile, Tony Sipp continues to throw in the Astros pen as the Astros bat. You guys think Keuchel's done after 6? 87 pitches on the night on 3 days rest. Runner goes. Strike 3 called. Throw down. Not in time. So Castro strikes out for the second out. VR steals second.
That's kind of where you're a hitter. You're like, why didn't you do that early? Give me a chance. You got a huge lead. Kind of, Betances never even stopped him really to make it that close. A great play by Brian McCann, but you got 2 strikes on you, and all of a sudden you hear the infielders yelling he's going, and look, great, you stole a base, but do it before I get to 2 strikes so I can have a chance to work with something.
Here's Altuve, and a breaking ball for a strike. Altuve's 0 for 3. He only runs for the Astros, coming on a couple of solo home runs. Colby Rasmus, Carlos Gomez. 2-0 Houston, top 7. The winner moves on to take on Kansas City in an American League Division Series. The loser is done. Hooked into left field. It is dropping for a base hit, and Villar will come in to score as the Astros lead is now 3-0.
And this is the 201st hit for Jose Altuve. And this is a guy who just continues to impress me with the variation of how he gets his hits. Look at the pitch location and where this pitch is headed. It's down and away. Now watch Altuve's body. Look at his swing. He doesn't even finish with the rest of his swing. All he does, watch his hands. He just gets barrel to ball, literally. Now, if that happens to most hitters, it's a weak ground ball. It's maybe a pop fly. He does just enough to find that perfect spot, but this isn't a rare thing for Altuve.
And now he's running and steals second. Led the American League with 38 during the regular season. How about the plate coverage, too, for a guy who's 5'6", that he can reach that pitch?
Well, you look at the bat he uses. It looks like it's about 52 inches because he's so small. But yeah, but you look at his stride, Dan. Look at his front foot. It's stepping right on the white line of the batter's box, and a 33, 34-inch bat's going to cover that 17-inch home plate.
And the reaction back in Houston, predictably, they're feeling it. He's feeling it. 3-0 Houston, 7th inning. Yankees contemplating reviewing the stolen base out at second.
Not now.
So they won't ask for a review. Altuve in scoring position with 2 down, and the batter was George Springer, 1 for 3. He doubled in the third. And a fastball is judged high by Eric Cooper for a ball, 1-1. So they get the first couple of runs on homers, but here in this inning, it's a walk, a steal, and a base hit to bring in the 3rd run of the night. Big swing and a miss by Springer.
And I think you see that swing by Springer right there. I think that's something that, you know, over time, with some maturity, that big go-for-broke swing, understanding that he doesn't have to swing that hard to hit it out.
I think if you're going against an 83 Keuchel pitch, yes, but if you're going against Betances at 99, I mean, all he's got to do is get the barrel there, and that ball's gone.
Off the end of the bat, a weak roller to second. Got to hurry, and they just do get Springer to end the inning. The Astros, though, tack on a run. Altuve drives in Villar with a base hit to left field. 7th inning stretch now with the Bronx. So the Astros have added to their lead. It's now 3-0.
There's no need for projection and prognostication when you have proof that anything can happen.
Welcome back to the 2015 American League Wild Card game on ESPN. Tonight's telecast is being presented by Hankook Tires. To the bottom of the 7th at Yankee Stadium, the Astros just got another run in the top half and now lead 3-0. Changes for the Astros. As expected, Marvin Gonzalez is now in defensively at first. And A.J. Hinch has gone to his bullpen. Keuchel is done for the night. After 6 innings, 6 shutout innings, 87 pitches on short rest, left-hander Tony Sipp, who put up some outstanding numbers, an ERA under 2 this year, is into the game. A look at our Chevy high-strength performance. Recapping the night of Dallas Keuchel. First ever major league performance, major league appearance on 3 days rest. And Crucky, the first inning, it looked like it took him a while to settle in, and then it was vintage Keuchel.
Yeah, some hittable pitches early, but then he went to the corners, both corners, inside, outside, up, down, and then when he did throw it down the middle, you're not expecting it because from the first inning on, he kept everything out of the middle of the plate. He gets that pitch right there, 87 mile an hour to Alex Rodriguez, but because you have to look for corners, it gets in on him, he gets jammed, he hits a pop-up to Gomez to end really the only threat that the Yankees have had in this game.
Outstanding job tonight by Keuchel. They turn it over to the bullpen. Bottom 7, 3-0 Houston. Brian McCann 0 for 2 facing Sip. Shift is on as always. Valbuena alone on the left side of the infield.
You kind of feel bad for Tony Sip because, you know, if you're a Yankee, you're like, okay, thank goodness that guy's out of there. You know, let's see if we can get something off this one.
McCann's homered off Sip when they faced him earlier this season, so that's a confidence right there, knowing that Keuchel pretty much had your number, and now you got someone you feel good about.
Power against the righties, but better average against lefties. Go figure.
Sip not a specialist for A.J. Hinch, a guy who can face lefties and righties and actually holds righties to a lower batting average than he does lefties.
It was interesting, guys, too, when we talked to A.J. Hinch, he talked about how he doesn't really have set roles among his setup men. He goes by matchups rather than have that particular reliever assigned to a particular inning.
So Will Harris, who figures into this 7th, 8th inning mix, is up right now again if needed. Down and away, missing badly, and Sip frustrated. You saw him kind of slap his left thigh there after that pitch. 3-1. Sometimes it's the outs between the starter and the closer that are the toughest to get in October. At the knees, a full count.
Looks like Brian McCann taking all the way right there. I thought if you're going to take that pitch with this big shift on, you see Valbuena way over at shortstop. Why not try to lay down a bunt?
In on his hands just enough.
Brian McCann, everyone thought when he came to New York it'd be perfect for his swing. You can see it right there, though. At 3-2, if that was a 3-1 pitch he swung at, might be a different result, but that pitch is running in on him, and 3-2, you got to 2 strikes, you got to protect anything that Tony Sip might throw.
Reaching for it, he fights it off to stay alive. Eighth pitch of the at-bat upcoming. In the air, shallow right center, draws a crowd. Gomez. McCann retired for the 3rd time tonight. That'll bring up Chase Headley. Just 3 hits in the game for the Yankees. A 2-out single by Greg Bird back in the 2nd. And then Gregorius and Beltran both singled in the 6th inning. But maybe the biggest moment of the game was Dallas Keuchel getting Alex Rodriguez to fly out to end the 6th with a couple of men on. Headley with some good numbers, limited at bats, but very good numbers against Sip. Three on the left side.
Dan, we heard Joe Girardi tell you a few innings ago about their offense just needing to get base hits, and this is a team that's been built on home runs, and in the outs that they've gotten, even with decent pitches that they could do something with, they've hit pop flies, and that's the telltale sign of a swing that's been built all season long to hit it out of the park. Now they're having a tough time adjusting.
Also is a sign of getting pitches to hit and fatigue. Brian McCann's caught a lot of games. Alex Rodriguez he's had a lot of at bats that people think he wasn't going to get that many. Both of them getting jammed, hit pop-ups to center field their last 2 at bats.
Low ball 3. Sip pitched from behind, but fought back to get McCann. Now 3-0 on Headley.
Well, McCann took 3-1. You got to believe Headley's going to take at least, well, he's going to take 2 strikes, you would think.
There's 1.
I don't know if I'm Headley right now. I don't think I can take another one. Maybe at least looking at one side of the plate and then get my hack in.
Low ball 4. Sip visibly frustrated again. Well, this is just the beginning of the postseason. Tomorrow night, it's the National League wild card game. Jake Arrieta and the Cubs, Garrett Cole and the Pirates. You can see it on TBS. The 2 American League Division Series begin on Thursday. It'll be Giovanni Gallardo against David Price up in Toronto. The Royals hosting the winner of this game. The American League Division Series continue Friday. The National League Division Series begin Friday. And, of course, you can hear every game of the postseason on ESPN Radio. You like to see this much emotion, guys, out of the mound in this big of a moment?
I think that's the way Tony Sip pitches. Yep. And the last thing you want to do is to have him do things that you try to tell yourself it's just another game. Don't treat it like that.
Greg Bird, the batter. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Bird hit 2 of his 11 homers off left-handed pitching during the regular season, and as mentioned earlier, had some big hits for the Yankees after taking over for the injured Mark Teixeira. That run in the top of the 7th feels pretty big right now for Houston. Castro the block.
Well, that was just taking advantage of a youngster. He sees Sip struggling with his command, so when you're struggling with command, wouldn't you think, okay, he's going to try to throw a fastball and get it over, and Bird was just trying to leave earth, trying to hit one in the right field seats to make it a 1-run game. What do? They throw him a breaking ball.
Correa playing over slightly on the second base side of the bag. A lot of room on the left side of the diamond. Breaking ball fouled off, 1-2. Sip could be out there a while. Harris is ready. There's a right-handed batter, and Ref Snyder on deck. But if A.J. Hinch goes to Harris, Joe Girardi likely counters with either Ellsbury or Ackley. So Hinch might stay with Sip because then you got Gregorius and Gardner, 2 more left-handed batters.
Well, I think it all depends on what happens with Greg Bird right here. If he gets on base, then you have another story. You have to have another thought process going into this thing.
2-2. Pacing.
I think those stomachs are churning, do you?
Sip right now with a ton of movement. Post pitch, pre-pitch.
Blocked again. The count is full. This has been a struggle for Sip. Deep counts with all 3 batters. They're cheering for the Bird. strike three called.
Talk about a big pitch and a big moment. Sip had been struggling really with his slider. I mean, that's the pitch that's his go-to when he wants to get to the K, and he gets the swing and miss early, but now he's missing, and he's so far out of the zone on the misses. That's how he works it to a full count. He's not making this pitch a baitable pitch to Greg Bird, but he comes back with the fastball, and look at the location. I mean, you can't paint it better. Keuchel-esque.
Sip will stay. Refsnyder is the batter, 0 for 2.
A.J. Hinch told us, he said he's going to figure out a way to try to keep Ellsbury on the bench. But leaving Tony Sip in the game's a way of doing it, because you know if he brought in Harris, even though he tells us that Harris is better at getting lefties out than Sip is, Sip's better at getting righties out than Harris is.
So some opposite splits, if you will, for his 7th and 8th inning relievers.
Yeah, that's why Ellsbury's still sitting there.
Oliver Perez now up for Houston. So he's got options, but he wants to keep guys like Ackley and Ellsbury on the bench.
Oliver Perez is up in case Tony Sip can't get Refsnyder. He's going to be up to come in to get Didi Gregorius. But
you see this kind of back door. Looks away. Refsnyder holds it up. It's still a little off the plate, but it kind of comes back.
Some call it off the plate, some call it unhittable.
Two down and a man at first. 3-0 Astros as the Yankees bat in the bottom of the 7th. In the air to right field, but not deep. Springer there, and the inning is over. Sip had to work hard, but he gets out of it as the Yankees strand a runner in the bottom of the 7th inning. So it remains 3-0. The big strikeout of Bird, the fly ball off the bat of Refsnyder, the emotion from Sip, the exhilaration in Houston, and the dejection in New York. 3-0 and 7. The 2015 MLB American League Wild Card telecast is presented by Hankook Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. There's been a lot of passion on both sides here tonight. There just hasn't been a lot of offense for the New York Yankees. They have been shut out through 7 on only 3 hits. Dallas Keuchel went the first 6. Tony Sip the 7th. Rasmus and Gomez have homered. Altuve an RBI single. And here's Correa leading off the 8th against Betances. Betances got 2 outs in the 7th, but also walked a batter, gave up the base hit to Altuve, charged with a run. Correa 0 for 3. A couple of fly balls and a ground out. No activity in the Yankee bullpen.
I think the next in line is going to be Andrew Miller.
Yeah, I agree with you. Swing and a miss at a good slider below the knees. 1-2. After Correa, Rasmus and Gaddis. Correa was asked yesterday, will you be nervous? Your first ever playoff game. You just turned 21, and he said, I've been preparing for this every day since I was 5 years old. It's just a baseball game. And he hasn't gotten base hit or been productive offensively tonight, but he sure doesn't appear to be, in awe of the moment or anything like that.
Well, you said it earlier. That, I mean, the biggest compliment that everyone within this team and managers, coaches have given him is the maturity and the poise. We know he's got a great backhand swing. There's a lot there that even viewers at home can see. But
Betances blows it by him at 98.
Now handling a 98-mile fastball in the inside part of the plate. That might take a couple more chances.
So here's Colby Rasmus, and he got the offense started tonight on the first pitch of the second inning.
Mislocation by Tanaka. McCann wanted it down and away. It cut back over the center of the or down and in, and at least you didn't have to worry about whether that was going out or not.
Well, this is a team that's relied the entire season. 48% of their runs throughout the year have been on the home run. 67% tonight. And how, moving forward, is this a system that works? These are two teams that do it. So whichever team does come out of this game will be challenged with that. But you think about a team like the Royals, who have played it very differently, more so probably last year, probably exactly the opposite. Not the home run, but getting it done one base at a time. Pitching, bullpen.
High strike, 2-1.
But you see where the Yankees have stubbed their toe a bit. Actually, possibly even broke their foot. Look at the last 3 weeks in their offense. When they don't get the home run, what else can they pull out?
Just down and in, says Eric Cooper, ball 3. And the aforementioned Andrew Miller now up in the pen.
You look at the team, American League, best record in American League, Kansas City. They don't rely on the home run ball. The best team, the best record in all baseball, St. Louis. They don't depend on the home run ball. That's great, and it's all fun and dandy, and everything's good when you're hitting home runs. But when you're not, it's ugly. And right now, the Yankees' offense is ugly.
Swung on and missed. 2 down. Well, the Astros, they also rely on the home run. Second to Toronto. Most home runs in the majors. 11 players with 10 or more. 2 others with 9. And they'll strike out a ton. So they can have some ugly nights themselves, and they can have some big nights. Ask the Arizona Diamondbacks about the 21 runs the Astros put up on them on Friday. Gaddis with 27 homers, 88 RBIs on the season. Tonight, 2 solo home runs for the Astros, but also a walk, a steal, and a base hit to produce a run. Rasmus with a homer, Gomez with a homer.
But I think what's key for the Astros is the Altuves and the Springers at the top that find a way to get on base and know how to when it's not the long ball. And Altuve tonight, we saw it. I mean, his lower body was gone. He throws his barrel, finds a way to get on base. That's what the Yankees need right now.
But he drove that run in after a stolen base by VR, and that's what the Astros can do that the Yankees right now can't.
Betances strikes out the side. To the bottom of the 8th. 3-0 Houston. Yankees coming up. Comet Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, pitch tracking, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download the At-Bat app today. And don't miss the Cubs and Pirates in the National League wildcard game presented by Budweiser tomorrow on TBS and also on ESPN Radio. Bottom 8, Astros lead the Yankees 3-0. And out of the bullpen comes right-hander Will Harris, claimed off waivers from Arizona last offseason, and he had a stellar season for the Astros. And I know that because that's the word they used to describe it in their game notes. It says Will Harris had a stellar season. 71 innings with a 1.90 ERA and a 1.68 opponent's batting average. And he'll start Didi Gregorius with a strike.
He's been their best reliever. I mean, he's been successful against righties and lefties, so he can play both matchups. It's hard to pick a side with him. Got a good cutter, curveball. That combination, especially these lefties.
After Gregorius, it'll be Gardner, and then Chris Young, although if Harris is still in the game, we could see somebody like Jacoby Ellsbury coming off the bench to hit.
Well, this is one of the backwards guys along with Tony Sipp. Will Harris better at getting lefties out than righties.
Big chopper to third. One down as we send it down to Buster.
Yeah, and guys, the Astros have gotten great work tonight out of Dallas Keuchel, out of their bullpen, but the work of Jason Castro shouldn't be lost. I've actually had catchers tell me they don't like the word pitch framing, the phrase. They like presentation, like that one in Ref Snyder in the last inning. You guys heard Chris Archer use the phrase before in this game, presentation. Teams increasingly evaluate catchers for that. Jason Castro, according to one statistical site, 7th best in the major leagues.
And we have seen a number of pitches go the Astros way that appear to be borderline. Dallas Keuchel, 6 shutout innings on short rest. Back out of the dugout here is the Yankees bat in the bottom of the 8th. Brett Gardner 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts.
He's probably the happiest to see Dallas Keuchel gone. The hat trick against him.
Gardner hit just .210 after the All-Star break this year. .259 overall, 16 home runs. The Astros lead 3-0. Checks the swing and he takes ball 2. Ellsbury's got a bat. Sitting and waiting, wondering if he'll be called upon. Chris Young is out in the on-deck circle. We just showed you Harris actually tougher on lefties than righties. So for Joe Girardi, what do? You save Ellsbury for another spot. Running out of outs, though, to think about other spots. Pitch over the corner. 2-1 as Astros closer Luke Gregerson has been up and throwing.
Taking a break right now. Getting a drink. I think if Gardner gets on, Ellsbury hits. I think maybe if he doesn't get on, you let Chris Young hit.
Good curveball. 2-2.
And this is what makes him, I think, tough on lefties more so than righties, is he'll work that cutter fastball inside and then come back with that curveball just as a lefty's front side's flying, trying to get ahead of the fastball.
Gardner pulls one to first. Gonzalez will take it himself and win the race. And Gardner hearing boos here at Yankee Stadium. Two down in the bottom of the 8th. Young has been called back. Here's Ellsbury. Ellsbury hit .257 this year, 7 homers, dealt with some injuries, stole 21 bases. Hit just .224 after the All-Star break. .220, excuse me, after the All-Star break. 4 or 5 key Yankees with these kinds of numbers, dipping in the second half. And he comes up here to bat for Young with 2 outs and nobody on, and the Yankees down by 3 in the bottom of the 8th.
If you watch him swing the bat in the second half versus the first, he's got a lot more body movement than he ever did. He's got great, phenomenal hands. That's what's made him so successful. Sometimes his body will take him out of it.
Outside, ball 1. Runs in the 2nd, 4th, and 7th for the Astros. Keuchel, Sipp, now Harris. And a strike, 1-1. Keuchel did his job. 20-game winner, went 6 shutout innings tonight.
He got bored going up in the clubhouse listening to us talk about him, how great he was.
Little jam shot to short, and the inning is over. More boos. At the end of 8, Yankee Stadium, the Astros up 3-0. Well, they continue to celebrate in Houston. They are an inning away from advancing to the division series. The Astros lead the Yankees 3-0. A much different story here in the Bronx. Jed Lowry, pinch hitting, leads off the top of the 9th with a fly ball to deep left. Brett Gardner, who has moved to left. Ellsbury stays in the game in center. He makes the catch. Lowry was pinch hitting for Carlos Gomez, who evidently that tweak won't bat again tonight. Dallas Keuchel starting on 3 days rest, and he was good. Took him a little while to get going in the first inning, but then he really settled in, and then the offense got going. Colby Rasmus homers in the 2nd. Carlos Gomez homers in the 4th. Jose Altuve would add an RBI single, and it's 3-0. Gomez later on looked like he tweaked that intercostal strain that he's been suffering from. Presumably that's why Lowry just hit for Gomez. Here to lead off the top of the 9th. Valbuena now batting against the new Yankee pitcher Andrew Miller. Outstanding numbers for Miller. Just a great season. Coming on here to just try to keep this at a 3-run deficit and give his team any kind of a chance at the bottom of the 9th. As we look ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the scheduled hitters for the Yankees are Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez, and Brian McCann. And Luke Gregerson, the closer, is up in the Astros pen.
When you think about it, even for the Yankees pitchers, it's not that they've struggled. I mean, it's really just not getting that support from the flip side. But just the 5 hits, obviously 2 bigger mistakes, home runs. But you think if those are just doubles, singles, this is a much closer game. Look at the line score, Tanaka and Wilson and even Betances. It's nothing that Joe Girardi wouldn't want.
2 down. Keuchel possibly the front runner for the American League Cy Young Award. Picked up his 20th win. He and David Price, the 2 names mentioned most often. Their numbers comparable on a number of levels. Keuchel may just be slightly ahead here and there. Was asked about the Cy Young yesterday, and he said, I'm not going to think about that till after the season's over.
I think he said David Price is a pretty good pitcher.
Yes, he did. and David Price would say Dallas Keuchel's a pretty good pitcher. David Price will be on the mound Thursday afternoon at the Rogers Center as the Blue Jays take on Texas in game 1 of their American League Division
We should have put Chris Archer on the hot seat. I know he's a big fan of David Price, and asked him who he would vote for. I'm sure he would go either with no answer or with David Price.
Yes, former teammate.
I think Chris Archer would give us an answer. I don't think he'd say I have no opinion on that. I think he would give you an answer. Seems to be that type.
Well, it's good to know he's got TV to fall back on if the baseball thing doesn't work out. It seems to be going pretty well for him right now.
We're talking about going to Harvard to take some business classes. Man's got a lot of things going right for him.
Yeah, he does. 2 down. Marwin Gonzalez the batter. And a strike for Miller. 1-2 the count. As good a slider as there is in the game today, whether you're a lefty or a righty.
He threw one to Valbuena. Valbuena about hit the deck. Second strike of his at bat. And it can't be fun for a righty. It can't be fun for a righty because he's a slinger. Lefties, it's got to be just virtually impossible.
Again, the 1-2. Fouled off.
And he gives you every opportunity as a lefty, the best opportunity, because he throws from the third base side of the rubber. If he threw on the first base side and was slinging it like that, look where that thing's coming from. And it's not like it's 88, 96, 97. Sometimes you're glad you're up in the booth.
You saw a few of those. Got him. Nasty slider down and in to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Houston Astros are 3 outs away from advancing to the division series. Beltran, A-Rod, McCann to face Luke Gregerson. Keep it locked onto Sports Center at night here on ESPN. John Buccigross, John Anderson will have a post-game wrap-up on this game. Sports Center at night beginning right after the final out here on ESPN and also streaming live on Watch ESPN. We go to the bottom of the ninth here at Yankee Stadium. The Houston Astros have a 3-0 lead on the New York Yankees. Jake Marisnick now into the game in center field for Houston after Gomez left for the pinch hitter. Presumably, as we mentioned, tweaking that intercostal strain. They want to be cautious. Luke Gregerson, 31 of 36 in save situations this season, comes on here to try to get 3 enormous outs. Yeah, they're channeling Yogi Berra here in the Bronx. It ain't over till it's over, and it ain't over yet. And the Yankees will send up 3, 4, 5. Carlos Beltran, Alex Rodriguez, and Brian McCann. Strike one. Gregerson is not your 97-mile-an-hour flame-throwing closer, but he had a solid year for the Astros. Strike two.
And that's what he's going to do. He's going to paint that lower half of the strike zone with his two-seam fastball and his slider. Very similar to Keuchel in that he sets up that lower half, gets you to chase.
And he got him with a slider down and in. Strikes out Beltran on 3 pitches.
He did it by painting early to Beltran. He had the two-seamer early in the count, and that allowed Beltran to see this pitch. He thinks it's going to stay straight, and then it just drops off the table. That slider movement right into the hands of Beltran.
Gregerson had never been a full-time closer in the big leagues until this year. He does have prior postseason experience, just 1 game. Pitched in the wild card game for Oakland last year when they lost to Kansas City. Here's Alex Rodriguez. And again, Gregerson starts him with a strike.
Looks like the Yankees are taking a strike, and that's a former player who's had to hit in the 9th inning when you're down 2 or 3. That's the last thing you want to do, especially against a guy like Gregerson, because now you take a fastball right down the middle, strike one. Now it's going to be slider, slider, slider. There you go.
Slider, 0-2.
You know, I know that old school thing is you make him throw a strike, but he's just thrown 5 strikes in a row. I never liked that, having to take a strike late in the game. Put you in a hole.
Tanaka went 5 innings, gave up a couple of runs in his major league postseason debut. Gave up the homers to Rasmus, Gomez. Betances giving up a run, some long faces in that Yankee dugout right now. They are down to their final 2 outs. The Astros are looking to move on. Looking ahead to Kansas City. Two down.
This is what we talked about. You know, you take the first pitch fastball. Gregerson is a slider pitcher. You give him the fastball first pitch strike, and this is what you're going to have to contend with probably for another until the count gets to 3 balls.
So the Yankees are down to their final out. The batter is Brian McCann, 0 for 3. And a swing and a ground ball to short. Big hop for Correa, and the Astros have advanced to the division series against Kansas City with a 3-0 win here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees season comes to an end after just one game in the postseason, and the Astros, as we mentioned, ahead of schedule. In the minds of many, they make the postseason this year, and they're moving on. They are headed to the best-of-5 division series against the Royals. Party's probably just beginning in Houston right now. Gregerson the save, Keuchel the win, Rasmus and Gomez the homers. Outstanding pitching tonight from the Houston Astros. They held the Yankees to just 3 singles in this game.
And so many people question the youth of this team. Could they handle the postseason, the pressure, and a one-and-done game, a wild card situation? They have been relaxed, enjoying just from practice to the game today, playing the baseball that they played in the first half and showing it a lot tonight.
The season is over for the New York Yankees, but it is continuing for Dallas Keuchel and the Houston Astros. They have come to New York and beaten the Yankees 3-0 to advance onto the division series. A small but vocal group of Astros fans clad in orange here above the Houston third base dugout, sharing in the celebration with them as they'll take the party inside and plan their next step. Brian McCann with a routine ground ball to Carlos Correa. And that did it. For most of them, their first time in the postseason. And for Jose Altuve and company, they are moving on. The outstanding middle infielder of the Astros, Dallas Keuchel, possibly the Cy Young Award winner this year, joining in on the celebration after 6 shutout innings tonight. And Carlos Gomez never one to get left out of a party. Let's go down to the field now. Dallas Keuchel standing by with a Buster Olney.
Dallas, you guys win the wild card game over the Yankees. What was that like?
Unbelievable. To come into their place and play extremely well was more than I could ask for. I didn't think that we were going to play that well. I thought we were going to play a little bit better than average, but to come to the Yankee Stadium and play that well was truly remarkable.
What was your progression as that game went along from the first inning on, and how comfortable you were?
Well, I was just trying to get my feet wet there with Gardner that first at bat. I knew he was going to take some pitches. Felt like I'd never been on the mound before with the adrenaline I had and just the excitement. But luckily I was able to make a few pitches there and get that first out of the game, kind of settle down from there.
How much did the home runs from Rasmus, from Carlos Gomez help you?
A lot. That really settled me down. And that's what we are. We hit a lot of home runs, and we play defense and we pitch well. Those two guys right there are the epitome of our team right there. And I mean, I couldn't be more happy for these guys.
How did you feel working on 3 days rest?
I felt better. I felt better than a week's rest. I'll tell you that. I think with the command I need and the stuff I possess, I really feel like I'm better suited for shorter rest and longer rest. And I think a lot of those guys would say the same thing.
Dallas, congratulations. Dan, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you. So Dallas Keuchel gets the win. He talked about the home runs hit by Rasmus and Gomez, how those helped him. Carlos Gomez is with Tim Kirkjian.
Carlos, a young team came in here and beat the Yankees in their place. What does that tell you about your club?
I mean, it's baseball. Baseball is crazy. We come all the way to here, and the whole year we fighting, and then the last thing we made it, and we come here and play one of the best teams. It's an honor, and win like that. Shut out by when Geico throw unbelievable game, and then the reliever come and do that job is unbelievable. You know, I can explain how I feel.
Fourth inning, you hit a leadoff home run. Take me through that at bat.
No, I mean, yes, I try to be simple, because you know I've been through for a lot of injury this year, and everybody know how I'm be the last couple of days. Try to put myself in the game, and today I got an early phone call by my manager and the trainer how I feel. And I said, I don't know, I'm going to tell you when I get in the field, but put me in the lineup. So they made the decision and put me in the lineup. And today, yes, I get in the play, not try to do too much. In that at bat, I try to hit the ball, ground ball to second base. He hang it, one of those breakable pitch, and I can drive it out the ballpark.
Well, how do those ribs feel now?
I mean, feel unbelievable. You know, I'm being early when a lot of pain, but finally we get that W. This is what I'm at.
Last thing, what did Dallas Keuchel show you again tonight?
It's impressive. It's impressive. You know, he pitched when 3-day rest, and everybody question about how he gonna do it. And he's the dog. You know, he come there and do his best, all the control, and be in and out, pound the strike zone, and that's what makes him so special.
Carlos, thank you. Dan, back to you.
All right, Tim, thank you. Carlos Gomez, a big part of the win tonight, smashing a home run in the fourth inning that extended the lead to 2-0. They would add another run in the seventh. Get some great pitching from Dallas Keuchel in the bullpen. And the Houston Astros are moving on. They are heading to the American League Division Series, where they will take on the defending American League champions, the Kansas City Royals. For John Kruk, Jessica Mendoza, Buster Olney, Tim Kirchin, and our entire outstanding crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching. And so long from Yankee Stadium. Sports Center at Night is next.